we're going to do Cardinal Financial, but we still get the navigation piece, navigating through markets with research summary and analysis. Without further ado, we'll get into the presentation. So the problem is basically that self-guided investors or retail investors are really lacking in today's markets when it comes to access to tools, education, and even trust in financial markets. Market advantages are gated by really high prices. We're pretty familiar with the idea of percentages being taken when it comes to traditional advisors and other kinds of like technical analysis and other kind of uh, market advantages. When self-guided investors are trying to take a sip from the fire hose when it comes to the amount of information that's available out there, a lot of times there's information overload, and sometimes even intentional emotional decision making when it comes to forums, and pressure to get into pump and dumps, things like that, or just looking at when it comes to technical analysis. There's just a lot of information out there. There's a lot of books. There's a lot of people also who, like charlatans. There's people who take your money. And the tools that self-guided investors use, they don't often educate users. Sometimes that's on purpose. Basically they're just profit seeking, and they want to, we're familiar with the problem. I mean, the API keys are expensive. Let's create some value for users. All jokes aside, just kidding. We're we're going to create an agent in finance with a trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes, all the good things. So basically, what we're going to do is make her anime waifu right here, and the solution, what is it going to look like? When it comes to AI tools, and when it comes to what people are comfortable with, there's a really nice blend here where we can use research and summary, and we can have a human in the loop, and we can take the opportunity to educate the user. And there's kind of two, I guess, camps of thought when it comes to AI use cases. One would be, black box all the way. Let's create a solution that does everything for me. I want to be wowed, and I don't need to know anything that's going on. In this case, like, make my trades for me. And when things go south, I have no idea why. And basically make, black box on one side. And on the other side, I think when it comes to AI tools, there's a tremendous opportunity to, at the human in the loop piece, educate users. So without further ado, we're going to take a look at the app. Basically, the input is going to be all bring your own data. It's not going to hook up to any brokerage, anything like that. We're going to have our risk level. We're going to have our investment goals, and we're just going to input our portfolio. So this is just an example portfolio. I have Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Berkshire. Somehow I got all these shares with an average price of $250. But just as a test case, right out of the gate, we're going to just pull data from Y Finance. We're going to get P&L, and we're going to get not just today's cost and real-time data, but also a bunch of technical information that we see here. We're going to get the fundamental data of the company, like free cash flow, dividend, and just information about the stock. And we're also going to look at the historical data that's available through Y Finance. And we're just going, and while this looks impressive already, this is just Python. This is the context that we're providing to the AI system. So right now, what it's doing is it's pulled the technical analysis, and what the second piece of context is going to look at financial news. So it's going to use News API to pull in relevant articles related to my stocks. And then what it's going to do is we have security analysis, which is an kind of a value investing principle book. It's like one of the like Bibles of security of fundamental analysis and technical analysis. We're going to load that into a vector store, and then we're going to ask it questions about all of this kind of MACD, um, RSI. We're going to ask it about the forward PE, the PEG, and we're going to basically get the embedding model to interpret this data for us. So as we can see, the news is complete. So at the bottom here, I have news articles, and we can see that showing Apple first, maybe because, and we're asking the LLM to kind of present these to us. And that's because it's the largest item in our portfolio. We see that Google has just bought Wiz here, and we can open this article up. That's important if you're a Google investor. Um, and without getting too much more into and they're also color coded by sentiment, so the LLM is able to do sentiment analysis on what's going on here. And this is still just context to the LLM. So we can see that the analysis has completed. All right. We have gone, we've gotten our context. We have gone to the vector store and asked, what do these technicals mean? And we've also structured the outputs into portfolio analysis. And right at the top, we get our summary. So this is going to be like an at a glance summary. So this is according to my goals, which are retirement 20 years, building wealth, passive income with my moderate risk, I'm getting an evaluation here, and it's recommending that I'm overvalued in some areas with high sector concentration. It's true, I have mostly tech stocks. And recommendations. Okay. So just going down, we have portfolio strengths and areas for improvement. Fundamental analysis is going to be, it's going to advise that we diversify, which is, sounds like sound advice, sounds familiar, sounds reasonable. And then it's going to provide us our investment strategy, where it gives me a strategy guideline. So consider rebalancing to reduce exposure to tech stocks, and a risk assessment, because that's one of the inputs. So is my portfolio in line with my risk? Then it's going to itemize our stocks and give us recommendations for each one. Let's say I have some cash to add to my portfolio. Which one should I add? So here we can see the embedding model take place. We have Google. Okay. So according to this information, Google is, according to the RSI of Google, which we provided in the context, we're seeing that it's slightly oversold, and a positive MACD histogram indicates potential for price stabilization. Fundamentally, the PE and price to book ratio suggest undervaluation. So they have strong earnings, profit, margins further bolster the case for investment. This is a pretty good case for why this would be a good position to add to. And likewise, I can look at my other investments here. It's telling me to sell Amazon. Why is it telling me to sell Amazon? It's oversold, which could indicate like a further bearish trend and bearish momentum given the MA20 and MA50. And it's indicating that with a high PE and price to book, it's overvalued. So not only is it have bearish momentum, but it's overvalued still. So, there's another reason. So I can kind of verify any of this information. This is where the human in the loop comes in. It's not just trading for me. Uh, and then I'm realizing I'm kind of running out of time a little bit, but we also have the ability to find new opportunities in to add to the portfolio. So what's going to happen is we're going to scrape data from Zacks, MarketWatch, and we're going to get items to run through a similar graph where we will do the same kind of technical analysis and see how it fits in the portfolio as far as diversification and technical analysis goes. So with that, I will let this load in the background and take some questions.